is indeed working out, and it's not just hype based around the names, but we are getting ready to go into the third and final map of the series, semifinals here, seeing who's going to be moving on into the finals tomorrow. Will it be Sentinels or will it be 100 Thieves? Let's find out.
Thank you, Bach. Yes, indeed. Let's find out. It all comes down to this. One last map for the day to determine who's going to advance to the grand finals, who's going to win between 100 Thieves and Sentinels. And shocker, ladies and gentlemen, Asuna goes aggressive. They get 2 picks early on.
Yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought that was going to happen? Of course, Sentinels do answer back, but Hiko, instead of surprised that he finds a shock dart kill, still going to try to lurk from the side. Now it's down to one final player. Headshot's going to send ShahZam down. Are we going to see some tea bags? We're going to see just one, and that's honestly all you need to get your tea piping hot.
But again, like the aggression with which 100 Thieves, excuse me, 100 Thieves continue to play is just so impressive to me. They are sticking to their DNA. That's the way they want to play the game. They don't care about what's at stake. They don't care about who's on the other side of the map. They're going to play their style, and it's going to be on Sentinels to figure out if they can handle it or not.
So looking back at that TSM match, 100 Thieves were not very comfortable on the defensive side. It finished, a couple of tip taps with the stinger. Does injure Sinatraa, but he'll at least survive. But 100 Thieves choosing the defensive, they won the coin flip. They took the defensive side first. They were a lot more potent on the attack. So they're just trying to have the best half possible. And it starts out quite well by winning the pistol. We'll see, though, how long that lasts.
You see how much space Sentinels have established over up C long. And sure enough, that's exactly where the spike is rotating. Asuna's going to get his chance. He threatened plenty of times out of that garage door and finally delivers as he takes care of ShahZam. Meanwhile, Sentinels trying to mosey their way up C long are met by Nitro. He already has second on the round and he continues to push the matter. They know exactly where the spike is. They can hunker around it at this point and just lock down the rest of the round.
All down to dapr with a shorty and a dream, 28 HP. Just trying to spread those bullets wide. Flawless round for 100 Thieves, and that's ultimately what you want moving into this this third round. It's a gun round for the Sentinels, and this is where things are going to start to hurt. But the fact that Dicey has invested in the operator, I think it's a little counterintuitive. Like, this is where you just want to let those weapons go. If you win this round, great. But if you're buying an operator, yeah, you can see he's selling that and doubling back. It's not the best idea when your team is not investing either. But he's still going to buy a Phantom. A couple of members will. We'll see if they find some upgrades off the floor and how Sentinels deal with this upcoming round.
See the smoke coming down early on up across B to ensure that no aggression is coming from Sentinels that way. And they're playing this far more passively. And here's the thing, when you see a team, especially on the defending side, that's just going to continue to be aggressive over and over and over again, you just sit back and wait, right? Like, you know they're going to come to you. You can deal with that when they come your way, or at least you can attempt to. It's certainly much easier said than done. Sick getting a big opening pick there onto Dicey. The spike now is going to head its way over onto A. You see resources from 100 Thieves already rotating over as well. The one exception being the Phoenix, Asuna, who's going to show up a little bit later. But keep a close eye on the Omen on your minimap, folks. It's going to be late to the party. Steel drops down. Oh my gosh, he mows down Sentinel.
Oh my goodness, he does get flashed up in the process. Still 2 members remain on both sides, but weapons have been upgraded. Shock dart's going to hurt Sick. He does have at least the blaze wall. Actually, Psych, that is the blaze wall on the opposite side. Asuna playing that. Zombs just trying to take out Hedwig, shoots it down.
30 seconds left.
That's an owl down, but still 2 players remain on both sides. Paranoia to give them a little bit more space, but shots come out from heaven. Now it's Asuna, finds the frag. It's all down to Sick. Phoenix beat Phoenix. And the man in the mirror does win. Asuna taking Sentinels down. They win a very important round as it pertains to the economy. Sentinels now likely down to an economic disadvantage.
And they're able to bring 2 rifles into the next round. What that does is that allows Hiko, I believe it was Hiko. Oh, no, it was actually Asuna, who bought down a little bit. Hiko's still going to have plenty of money to work with as well. Some of the finances were spread. Everybody's happy. And 100 Thieves continue to be able to play from a position of power. With 5 seconds left before the round starts, you're already seeing them assume some aggressive positions, a little bit of utility right outside of B. Asuna once again threatening outside of the garage door, and that's exactly where Sentinels are headed, Simo.
That they are. Sentinels have to worry about Asuna on the opposite side, but now he's going to be chased down, and as a result, you're going to see him fall. Weapon upgrade now for the Sentinels. More will start to come. Dicey in a little bit of a, so to speak, dicey situation. Hiko trying to catch those flanks from the opposite side, provide support for Dicey, who's still back behind Plat. Camera comes through, shot's not going to work out. He's trying to keep himself in safety, but unfortunately, he's starting to fall apart. He's still alive somehow, some way. ShahZam takes him down. Hiko will find two, down to the 1v1. ShahZam finding himself an upgrade, or did he? There was a lot on the ground there. He's going to try to plant that spike, or maybe look for Hiko. Guess who never came? Guess who never showed up? It's Hiko. Positioning was perfect. 100 Thieves win the round, but Doug, it was really expensive for them to do so.
It was another strong start by 100 Thieves. I think the important thing to talk about in that round is just how long Dicey was able to stay alive. All of the shenanigans that took place back behind C allowed Hiko enough time to rotate over, and it was just shooting fish in a barrel. At that point, 5-0-5, he was just picking them apart, isolate things down to a 1v1, and from that point, he just had to win that straight-up gunfight, a little bit of ring around the rosy, and he was able to take care of things. So it looked dicey for him to be dancing around like that. I really don't mean to be doing that.
It's tough.
It really is. But it bought enough time, and that was the difference maker in that round.
Listen, sometimes we all have a daughter or a son somewhere in the world. Those dad jokes, we just can't help them. They just come out, the dad jokes come through, and we can't avoid them. There's nothing we can do to stop it. We just got to let it breathe. We also have to see how Sentinels are going to let this ace side hit breathe, as they've already made their way on. And 100 Thieves, we saw the two-man peek towards that C-long side. We saw it pretty much all day. Dicey and Asuna, two-man peek, two-man peek, two-man peek. But this time they look in the wrong direction. Sentinels wanted that ace site, and now we're going to have to deal with an Asuna flank.
Yeah, there's not going to be a Hunter Suri to cancel that out through the wall. They have an idea of somebody being up in heaven, and it's going to be Hiko. Asuna's going to be coming around the flank as well. Hiko gets the best of zombs. Steel flushes his way onto the site. I believe, they were able to detain one. Asuna goes in, flashes two, but gets punished anyway.
Yeah, but they just stuck to defuse. They really managed to push Sentinels back, and now it's down to a couple of members. Oh, Nitro's hunting. We'll see if he's able to find one. No, time runs out. 5 rounds in a row is a scary sight for Sentinels fans because the 100 Thieves were a little bit more potent on the offensive side against TSM. It was an 8-4 finish for the first half with TSM on the defense 4 rounds up. Sorry, TSM on the attack 4 rounds up over 100 Thieves. And so for the Sentinels, they need something here. A couple of Bulldogs is not going to work out, but they're trying to make ends meet after 5 difficult rounds. It's close. It's been close, but it's not been close enough.
Good smoke. I think the other thing worth remembering is that 100 Thieves have come out of the gate swinging for every single map, right? Like, they've had an early lead, and Sentinels have been able to respond. At least they were in map 2. Sentinels still on the attacking side here. They showed some presence over by C. Didn't like what they saw. Got the yips pulled back out, but now they're going to work their way up garage. Asuna is going to be there. Asuna, who's made highlight play after highlight play in a position once again to make something special happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, the entire team of Sentinels were spraying through that door. It was only a matter of time before one of those bullets land, shooting fish in a barrel. Eventually, you find the fish, and all that's left is water and a dead fish, and that's exactly what happened to Asuna. But for the rest of 100 Thieves, they've got to worry about this eventual push towards the C site. They now start to see them start to come through. There's a battle of Jett v Jett, but Steel has Dicey's back covered. Down to the 4v3. Here comes the frenzy. Finds it. Smart onto zombs. And now it's a 3v2. Sinatraa and company, they're on the site, but they are in dire trouble. It all boils down to a 1v1. Hiko versus dapr, and dapr finds the 4K. And Sentinels put a round on the docket. It was looking real sour there for a moment, but all in the hands of dapr. He saves the team and finds the round.
And Hiko once again was in an isolated 1v1 position where all he had to do was take care of that and win the round. And while it was successful the first time, comes up just a bit short here. Still a very strong performance from him so far, 6-1-6. Steel leading the scoreboard, for 100 Thieves yet again at 8-3-2. and 1. You see Asuna getting in on the action as well. Overall, a really strong start for 100 Thieves, but Sentinels getting that round on the board was absolutely huge. It was imperative for the rest of this half.
Once again, guess who's double peeking together? Dicey and Asuna, but unfortunately it's the wrong read. They're anticipating a C push, which is standard on Haven, but Sentinels want nothing to do with that. They're all worked up about this A site. Nitro's gonna find one, Paranoia is gonna help him out, and he's gonna get into a 50 angle, which benefits him immensely. We'll see if the curveball ends up being used. No, it's not. Sick will find it regardless, and now it's a 4v4 with the A site spike going down momentarily.
Keep an eye on Dicey and Asuna rotating back from opposite sides towards the map. If the fight can prolong long enough, they're going to be able to deal some serious damage. See, the spike has gone down at the hands of dapr as Steel tries to provide a little bit of utility. Dicey trying to go up over the top with the Blade Storm, not going to spot anyone yet. They're just going to have to straight up fight for this site. Dicey gets flashed up. He's going to have to back off. And we're starting to see some of the rotation presence there. But oh man, ShahZam with the operator is able to get a huge pick onto Steel. Dicey's going to get taken out as well. Sentinels have been able to hold fast.
At least Hiko finds frag onto Sinatraa. You already see the positioning there from Asuna. He's waiting for those exits. Coming that way is ShahZam and dapr. Asuna has pulled back a little bit, maybe hearing the call from the IGL to say, hey, don't look for exits, save those weapons. We need some momentum moving into the next round. So operator will stay in the hands of Hiko. That'll go back to Dicey the next round. Asuna will also have a weapon. A couple of alt orbs away as well from the run it back. That may be a factor to consider. The rest of the team, Hiko and Nitro, have their ultimates available. While on the opposite side, the Sentinels a little worse for wear in terms of what they can use this round on the ultimates. For 100 Thieves, a different look. Once again, the double man peak from 100 Thieves, this time towards the A side. This is going to be what 100 Thieves need to shut down this A side push.
Yeah, they're investing a lot that way. Meanwhile, Sentinels, oh, they'll show a little bit of presence that way, but it looks like most of their attention is being drawn towards B. And yeah, they're just going to mosey their way up. They're going to follow the Owl drone as clearance and get in there. The alarm bar's going to go off, but the spike is going to go down anyway. You hear the 100 Furies being used to try to clear some of that off the site. Steel was waiting on the other side, but he gets the business at the hands of Sick.
It will be nullified by the Hunter's Fury from Hiko. He manages to find one. Asuna doubling back. There is some presence there from the Sentinels. 100 Thieves just looking for a way to open up back into the site. The flank from Asuna is starting to work out. He needs to heal himself back up. That's the wall that goes up. There's a player over there, sees him wide, and takes him down. The 3v3 is all that remains, and the spike is still ticking.
Yeah, but they're smoked off the entrance. They're going to force them to peek or just blindly fire through the smoke to try to stop the defuse. Meanwhile, Hiko's starting to stick. He gets it to halfway, and he gets taken out. Nitro's still up. However, as Sick continues to go aggressive, the Molly was able to take him out. He goes in on the site. He's flashed him up. Dicey's taken out. A 1v1, and Nitro goes in. I don't know if he's going to have time. He might have gotten it if he stuck it, but no, he pulled off for just a second.
Oh, man, that is so brutal. That is so brutal. Those are the types of decisions that make or break a game. Look at the economy. It's going to be 100 Thieves soft buying this round. Not going to be able to full buy. Man, what a rough position to be in. That is the make or break difference between resetting the loss bonus and putting the Sentinels back in a position where they're getting 1900, then 2400. That breaks their economy. So now the rest of this half really boils down to how many more rounds Sentinels can do to catch up.
100 Thieves had an opportunity there. Unfortunately, it slips out of their fingertips. But again, as we've seen from the boys in blue, they're going to continue to play their style. I don't expect to see much different. Sentinels have dashed all their way up onto C. Nobody's home. There's no one there to defend the site quite yet. Now you see members starting to rotate over. The drone is going to be the first one through. ShahZam's going to spot it, take it out, and there's the lockdown. It's going to be a straight up 5v5 for the site, Simo.
Not a lot of lurking prowess from 100 Thieves. They're all just going to brute force their way back in. Use the run it back to clear up the site. That's going to be a curveball that hurts, as ShahZam will be taken down. They're going to try to defuse the spike. Paranoia is going to make things a little bit more difficult. They're still going to send those shots in. But once again, they're just trying to defuse the spike. Now Six starts to break his way open onto the side. The curveball is going to help out. Hiko will find one, and he's just trying to make things expensive. He's going to bring it down to a 1v2 Sinatraa as he leaves the smoke, finds that frag onto Hiko, but still, look at how expensive that round was for the Sentinels.
Dude, Sick has been out of control this map. There was another instance in there which he was able to get, it was 2 or 3 kills. That last one, it was just filthy. Sick is just playing out of his mind right now. 11-7. He is leading the charge for Sentinels. He's answered the call for his squad every single time. That guy's just out of his mind.
We also have to remind ourselves the attack is where things are a little bit more beneficial for 100 Thieves. Asuna once again, but this time he's alone. He doesn't need Dicey all the time. He can do the heavy lifting himself. Finds himself in an engagement. He will lose that one, but things have been traded out in the courtyard in the meantime. It's down to the 3v2. dapr just trying to use the neural theft to spot out where those members are located and loses his life in the process. It's all down to one final player, Sinatraa. Hunter's Fury in tow, shock darts galore, recon bolt as well. This could be a round where he could try to at least get a pick or two in the defusal process, if he doesn't die beforehand.
Yeah, that turret really can be a nuisance. If nothing else, he's going to get the spike down, right? And that's going to get him a couple of credits. I don't know that he's going to be able to do a whole lot else with 8 health. Nitro just disposes of him, and they're going to get the spike defused as well. 100 Thieves is going to take a 2-round lead, and they're looking good right now.
Still could see this half finish 6-6. It's when we get to the second half that I'm going to start to worry for Sentinels. It's a half that 100 Thieves were very potent on, but they were down in the initial half against TSM. 8-4 was the scoreline. TSM led by 4 moving into the second half. So Sentinels, their best case scenario is 6-6, but the economy is a little worse for wear. If they lose this round, they're not going to have a chance at redemption. The loss bonus has been reset. They'll be down to 2,400 incoming credits for that for this next round, and they won't have a lot to work with in that third round if they lose this. So let's see what type of dire straits they have to bring out. They've got to run it back. They've got the Hunter's Fury. There's a lot that they can use, but it starts with this pick here. It doesn't come to fruition. Asuna, can he find the refrags?
Yeah, he's already been tagged up pretty badly. It looks like he's going to get flashed as well, but he does it through the flash anyway. Oh my gosh, Asuna gets 2!
Crazy. This is why these 2 members from the Immortals roster were brought in. Asuna and Dicey are spectacular, as is Nitro. Dispatching of the Sentinels completely. The hold in the garage was all off the back of Asuna. He re-engaged his targets with the curveball and had enough time to also back away and just hold down the spray. All the hours in the practice range finally paying off. And the Sentinels, as I highlighted, look at that. Stingers and Spectres across the board. Not a lot to work with moving into this last and final round.
No, Zam's the only one who's going to be able to bring in a rifle. A slower start to this map for the Omen player for Sentinels, but they're certainly still within striking distance. A 7-5, and we mentioned that it may not be as advantageous for them on second half, but you never know what's going to happen. As soon as it goes in aggressively, he's able to get that orb to get that run it back. He goes in, not able to get anyone, and unfortunately is going to be boxed in there. Yeah, that positioning, they just had to play aggressively on there after the clone was taken out, and Asuna gets taken out. Yeah,
and I think it's also a good call for 100 Thieves to just pull back. There's no reason to risk Hiko's life either, or Dicey's life either, for that unfortunate play. If Asuna finds a pick, then sure, go ahead, push up. But now Sentinels, they actually also upgrade a weapon off of that too, and they smoke off the heaven side to not allow them to see that happen, or to see if they even poked their head in. So a B-site plan here for Sentinels. 4 members remain for 100 Thieves. Let's see how they end up playing this out.
Wow, we haven't seen a plant like this. We haven't seen an offensive look from Sentinels like this the entire half. You see they've smoked off both cuts. Members of 100 Thieves are starting to rotate around to try to apply pressure from both sides. Steal, driving that nano swarm. Boy, that's going to hurt, but It doesn't matter. Zombs goes in and gets the kill anyway. Nitro trades it out as Sick joins in on the fray. Sentinels with the numbers advantage still as the spike continues to tick away and away. Hiko in a 1v4 makes that a 1v3. The heroics from Hiko, time and time again. He spots one, he just taps it, and then Swing, not able to get the guy in the window. The Stinger from downtown at the hands of Sinatraa, winning that gunfight.
Switching sides.
7-5 at half for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and if we had seen something like that from 100 Thieves versus the TSM match, I'd imagine that map wouldn't have went as long as it did to overtime. And so we'll have to be paying attention to how 100 Thieves fight back in this second half, but also really the Sentinels, what they've got in the tank. We haven't seen a whole lot from them in terms of Haven throughout the entirety of the open and closed qualifier, or at least, well, a lot of their maps, a lot of their games have been relatively dominant, so we don't have the biggest sample size in comparison to what other teams have brought to the forefront. You know, a lot of other teams dropping down to losers, having to play more matches. Most recently, notable, Sentinels beating Envy 13-6, beating Dignitas 14-12. So this is not exactly a map that they're super afraid of, but as we highlighted in the pregame, 100 Thieves, they're also very proficient on this map.
Steel showing proficiency with the Sheriff on this map. Gets the opening kill onto Zombs. A lot of presence through Garage for members of 100 Thieves. Steel goes in, however, and he gets taken out Asuna with the Frenzy, still making it seem sick. Still trying to keep things at bay as he's just getting pushed around and members flood from all over the place. The guy had no place to go. Nothing was safe. Hiko and the rest of 100 Thieves are going to get the spike down.
I think for ShahZam here, you just sit tight. You may be looking for an exit or two, or if somebody tries to force the issue, just trade out. But it's not something that we tend to see a whole lot of. When you're down in a 1v4 scenario, he tries to preemptively fire, hoping that he'd find somebody there. There was somebody there. Just, you know, when you're rearranging the furniture in your house, sometimes you just got to say a little to the left. Move that couch a little to the right, a little to the left, and boom. Perfect. The feng shui works out. So unfortunately, feng shui not in the hands of ShahZam there, but there will be an opportunity in that third round when guns get online for the Sentinels.
And you know, we mentioned in the last map, there was a point at which the financial implication, or the financial situation was going to have significant impact on the following rounds, and it was 100 Thieves who were down at that point. Sentinels really on the cusp here, finding themselves in something similar. If this round goes in favor of 100 Thieves, which so far so good, they're going to find themselves up 9-5. Sentinels is going to have to respond there pretty quickly. They lose out when they're in serious trouble. So Sentinels getting that pick onto Steel is absolutely important.
You know, one of the main things that I love about watching Valorant is seeing pro players shake as they're holding down the spray. Like, they are as nervous as we are watching them trying to land those shots. And it just shows that they're human. You know, they're not robots playing this game. We're not watching 5 AI versus 5 AI. We're watching some real humans play Valorant, and it's a beautiful sight to see. Looking at the beautiful shots here from Asuna. It's all down to one final player. Once again, ShahZam. See if that furniture works out this time. So far, it's not a good look. He's got to reload the clip, down to 32 HP. Asuna still chasing him down. Those shoulder peaks are deadly, as Asuna will find a 3K on the round. Sentinels, like I said, now they'll have the ability to come join the party. Guns online. Let's see what they've got cooking.
And 100 Thieves have a decision to make here. We just saw Hiko force up. That's exactly what I was going to touch on. They can bring the same lighter guns that they've had into the next round and just put money in the bank that they could cash in on later, or they could roll the die a little bit, force up at least a little bit, and attempt to secure the round even more. For Sentinels to lose this round this late in the half with the round deficit at what it is could be absolutely devastating. 100 Thieves bought up a little bit more, but they did not fully do so. There are still going to be a couple of SMGs. On the attacking side, they're starting to show some presence over by A. It was going to be a split play, and the first blood goes over in favor of Sentinels. Run it back is used to try to clear out the side as Zombs goes in.
Oh.
And 100 Thieves, they just rotate away. Nobody's there.
Yeah, the old bait and switch. They gather a lot of membership from the Sentinels towards this A side. But so far, it's really just the reads. Sentinels actually funnel out. They don't have information yet, though. They don't know if this C side has been hit. The recon bolt is going to at least keep them around temporarily. They're going to start to push forward. Here's the action that is about to unfold before very as Curveball's going to help out. Unfortunately, the frag does not. It's the rest of the Sentinels that are able to find the picks necessary, all down to Hiko. Just like that, the push kind of sits at a standstill. Hiko just trying to escape, maybe save that weapon, but this is the round that we anticipated Sentinels really coming to the forefront, and they needed to be fair. If they lose that one, it's 10-5, economy sucks, it's 11-5, and 100 Thieves are ever so close to going to that grand final spot.
You know, and I think that round ultimately comes down to the thinnest of timing margins, right? Like we saw members of Sentinels start to rotate away from A as things got very quiet all of a sudden, and it was actually the dart that came back out from Hiko that kind of cued Sentinels into thinking, wait a second, they might still be here, and then the smokes from Nitro certainly secured it. So that the thing is, the members of Sentinels on the defending side were not far away enough at the point at which 100 Thieves tipped their hand, and they were able to just pull right back, and the resources were there very quickly. This time around, once again, it looks like it's going to be a hit on A, but things looking a bit better for folks over in red.
Yep, they break open onto the site. The sewers battle definitely not going the way Sentinels had hoped. And, you know, to be fair, throughout the entirety of the day, we've seen a lot of presence, and really throughout the entirety of the week, a lot of presence towards that sewer side. And while Haven does tend to feel like who can hit C the hardest on their attacking side, the A site is still a possibility. It's still there. It's still a site that was introduced in this map. And 100 Thieves winning that battle in the sewers, really opening up this hit down to 2 final players. Sinatraa drops down and gets a little heroic, down to the 2v3, finds another, down to the 2v2, down to just him. The recon bolt reveals where he is. Nano Swarm's not going to help out at all, but he's going to chase them down. He knows exactly where they're located, heading towards that long side. But Steel's wrapping around. The Diffusal's about to start to come through. Steel sees the angle, and the 100 Thieves are up by double digits. Well, not up by double digits, but they reach double digits, lead by 4.
All right, let's take a look at the finances for Sentinels. A mixed bag. Again, you see a stinger, rifles elsewhere, but then a little bit of lighter armor for Sick and for ShahZam. It's not going to be everything that they would want to bring into this thing. On the attacking side for 100 Thieves, they've shown success in a number of different areas, primarily over by that A site. But we haven't seen anything spicy up C, and it doesn't look like it's going to be the case this time around either. One ultimate to work with in the hands of Hiko, the Hunter Siri, to try to clear out a site should they avail themselves of that resource. But for now, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. They're going to hit A again.
ShahZam and zombs will be there to hold down the front line if they can. No operator in the hands of ShahZam. He's just going to hold the higher angle. Shot's going to be good onto Asuna. That's going to dissuade the push temporarily, but 100 Thieves still in the vicinity. Nano Swarm to clear the right side. Recon Bolt still pulses and does reveal where he's located. Now Hiko is about to start to get involved. Steel finds the opening pick, but ShahZam trades it out in kind. The spike is down, and dapr's got a lowly little stinger. Can he make it work? Yes, he can. It's traded down to 1 final player. Hiko with the Bulldog. Unfortunately, the leash is not very long. Sinatraa will take him down, trail by 3.
And they take 2 rifles into the next one. That was a really big round for Sentinels to keep this thing competitive, to stay in the financial conversation of everything that's going on. You lose that one, you're sitting in a very uncomfortable situation. So even with that win in mind, they're still going to be bringing in 2 Spectres. Again, just kind of highlighting the point that I was previously making. On the side of 100 Thieves, they're down to scraps, folks. It's going to be pistols across the board. I imagine we're going to see a bit of a hot and heavy hit here. Maybe something that stacks a bit more, knowing that they're just going to have pistols and both Blade Storms in play here.
Still can be a factor in terms of getting some damage done. A side relatively clear. I'd imagine Sentinels might be anticipating some sort of play in terms of, you know, the economy not really working out for 100 Thieves. The lockdown is dropped. Sinatraa finds Asuna on the site, but they pulled the resources off of the Sentinels. They had a player on site. They had the lockdown as well. Steel may be looking for a couple of players in rotation. Yep, there is a player up in heaven. And now here's the footsteps as well. He's going to try to shimmy on over while he slow walks in the moonlight, while the rest of 100 Thieves will get that spike down and have to worry about how they're going to stop them from defusing it. 1 tags come through. That's the slice, and the dice goes on to Dicey. The Blade Storm will answer back. You know, it was a good idea from 100 Thieves, but it didn't work out in the bigger picture.
Was it?
I mean, they pulled them off the site. It worked successfully. They got the spike down. And if Steel finds lurk kills, then sure. But it's the eco. What do you expect? Like an ace? Like, it's not going to be that easy.
No, I question the use of the Killjoy ultimate there, right? Like, I understand what it was doing, but it's not like you had a ton of firepower to go the opposite way. They invested a very costly ult to try to draw some resources over. It was just it was a high-risk play, is what it was. And I understand 100 Thieves trying to catch him slipping and maybe make a Mona Lisa out of a really bad situation, knowing that they don't have guns really to fight back with, but ultimately it doesn't pan out, and they don't have the lockdown for this next round.
Oh, he still doesn't use the run it back. Or is this the run it back? This is the run it back.
Yes,
so he was just trying to chase him down. It's a little weird seeing the run it back, but he still has his ultimate available, but I'd imagine that's the whole point. Oh, Sinatraa catches him trying to escape. Great shots coming out from him, so that run it back is nullified, and all the ground that they covered on the C site is gone. But guess what? Steel's been over towards that A site the entire time. They could just pull off. They're just looking for exits here or committing their resources to this C site. Selling the fake once again. Nitro playing contact to any of the members rotating through and behind the B site. Asuna will start to pull back. But that spike still hasn't made its way over towards the A site. I really wonder what 100 Thieves are planning here, because Steel has gotten so much ground on this A site.
I just don't think they have enough information up until now. Now they feel a little bit more comfortable about rotating. Now that Steel's gotten up in heaven, they know, or he knows, excuse me, he's behind enemy lines. Nitro, if he's not careful, the timing might not work out for him, and it works out for him indeed. ShahZam and his operator out for the rest of the round. 100 Thieves with personnel advantage. Sentinels just down to 2. They got pulled all over the map, and the freaking ruse is up. 100 Thieves have planted the spike on A. Now they know what's been going on behind the scenes, and at this point, for Sentinels, it's too late.
Not gonna lie, I don't think Sentinels chase this down. I think they dot their I's and cross their T's, make sure their homework's all in clear, and that they don't have to worry about fighting 100 Thieves. They're still gonna poke their head through, or, you know, gather some information, gather some intel. Nitro's on the hunt. He wants to see if he can find anybody lurking around. He's going to be avoided by Zombs, because Zombs is just a turret watching, but he will find dapr momentarily. Watching up, watching above, but he's waiting. Is there anyone else there? Shot's going to be good. Zombs will be the last player standing, so that's at least a weapon out. I like that Nitro went for that. They want to try to nullify that economy, keep them suppressed here on the Sentinels, and inch ever so closer, ever so closely, to that grand final spot.
They're not fully broke, but it's not going to be enough to buy a full rifle. Sick is going to have a Bulldog. Well, never mind. I lied. He's going to be bringing in the Phantom and light armor, buying all the way down. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves have money for days. Looks like a relatively standard defensive spot out of Sentinels early on. No presence towards mid, but they've got a little something happening in garage like we've seen a couple of times. He's going to get smoked out and darted. Know exactly where he is, and he's not going to be able to see anything back. That's going to allow Asuna to work his way in following the drone. He's going to continue to push in. Sick, however, is going to get the best of him. That upgrade on the weapon was exactly what the doctor ordered. Yeah,
Asuna was really just trying to push the extreme there. He's like, I really don't want to get revealed by that recon bolt, but I also want to find a pick here, but it doesn't really work out, and as a result, Sick feels a little bit more comfortable pushing through the garage since they got so much control finding that pick. And one at a time, 100 Thieves just on separate occasions will fall apart. 2 members will remain. This is likely Sentinels answering back. A 2v5 is no easy task. Doable, but the percentage of possibility is very slim. Nevertheless, they will try as they work their way up A long and then back down again.
There's not a ton of options. They really don't have a ton of intel. No idea on understanding if anything is safe. And I think the important thing to note is Sentinels here are just holding strong, right? They aren't fishing. They aren't chasing after them or playing aggressively. They're just sitting back. They know that there are 2 ways this pans out. Either 100 Thieves going aggressively and they have resources everywhere to try to take care of the offensive move from 100 Thieves, or they just sit back and they're going to carry all of their weapons into the next round. Take a look at the money that Sentinels has at this point. Them playing passively in order to keep their weapons is huge. Of course, as I say that, ShahZam moseys his way up A long.
Yeah, but you're right. Sentinels aren't really feeling so hot right now. A couple of members may still push the limits. Sinatraa and ShahZam, but if you're going to ask me who's going to be the one to push the limits, it would be those 2 players. And looking at the leaderboard, ShahZam hasn't had the best game. But to be fair, we haven't really seen, this so-called operator duel between Dicey and ShahZam. The economy just hasn't really called for it, especially this second half. Look at it. Win-loss, win-loss, loss-win, loss. The loss bonus has been reset so many times that you're seeing teams struggle to put something together. 100 Thieves are sitting a little bit prettier in terms of the economy, but it's not too far off from where Sentinels are sitting either. So we'll have to see how 100 Thieves break that, or if Sentinels will find the answer for it in the long run. Steel's going to find a pick onto ShahZam. That's an important pick to take care of, and now he's just going to hold the angle. Alarmbot spots out where there's a player located. Now he's just going to survive and buy so much time for 100 Thieves to work their seaside angle.
His 10 health, sitting in this 50. Oh, Steel! Steel's able to take care of Sick. That's such a brutal spot, right? If you're Sick, knowing that things turned out that way, he was so weak. Nitro's going to teleport all the way into A, and Sinatra's there with warm opening arms, taking care of that teleport and nullifying that advance. Sinatra's still going to be sitting over on that A site. Not a ton of room for 100 Thieves to work with quite yet, but they're starting to mosey their way up. The one thing worth noting, Dicey's still hanging out over in mid, but Sinatraa continues to hold fast. The guy's impenetrable right now, but the thing is, 100 Thieves are going to continue to come.
They do manage to finally take him down. There's a player up in hell. I thought he was in heaven for some reason. That's definitely confusing to 100 Thieves as well, but Steel flanks around the box. He's been at 10 HP this entire time, but the spike still needs to be planted. Not much time remains, and Zombs is going to start to come in from the heaven side. There's a player looking up. The shots will connect. It's down to the 1v1, but Steel has been technically winning these consistently. Not going to win this one, though. Zombs drops down, and I have to really commend Sinatraa there. He really held down the site by himself, all by himself, taking 2 individual 1v1s, coming out, nullifying what happened earlier with Steel. Steel's heroics could have ultimately won the entire round for his team. If they had just maybe opted in for the seaside instead, Sinatraa would have never been in position to take down members one at a time.
Yeah, they really did just kind of walk right into him here. Sentinels bridging the gap, bringing it closer and closer to a tie ball game. 100 Thieves still have the lead. But folks, this is map 3. This is it. This one's going to close out the night. There's nothing else after this for the team that loses. Their tournament run is done. Sinatra's already been tagged up a considerable amount and is going to have to back up. You hear the lockdown has been used as Steel continues to get cooked right out of under his feet. He goes in aggressive because he knows exactly where the run it back is going to come from. That exactly is what he needed. It pays off. Dicey's still trying to hold things down on the C side. His members start to rotate over. He's already got 2 kills and continues to look for more. 1 left for Sentinels, and it's Sinatraa in a 1v4. Now they know exactly where he is. Tried slicing and dicing that little guy, but it didn't work.
Okay,
Dart
so now
to get some info, but this is brutal.
Yeah, so now I gave a lot of credit to Sinatraa last time, but now I have to give a lot of credit to the 100 Thieves roster. They run that set C play we've seen that before, especially against TSM. They brute force their way into the garage, get that lockdown closer to the window, as close as possible, and allow Asuna to just pop off, push forward, get aggressive, really utilize what he's there to do, which is be the aggressive player that we know him to be, and work with Steel to gain that control. Once that lockdown is down, they continue to push forward. Why? The rest of the team is barreling down C long. The Sentinels don't really know how to react. Well, any team doesn't really know how to react because they have no idea how to react to this lockdown because they want to take care of it, but they can't when all of these different members are barreling from different angles, and the Sentinels didn't really understand how to deal with that attack plan.
Oh, Sick going in aggressive. He flashes up 1 and is able to take care of Asuna. Still working that angle, but Dicey actually gets the best of him. You heard Hunter's Fury was used to try to clear out the site. Members of Sentinels are going to have to rotate their way over, but by the time they get here, it's going to be too little too late. Sentinels is just down 3 members left. dapr gets taken out as they continue to hold on to the site. Sentinels looking for a prayer here just to extend this map. They're outgunned, they're outnumbered, the spike is down, everything is going against them here.
They do have Sinatraa and ShahZam. Psych, just Sinatraa. Shots again, it's Nitro. He sends TSM down to the closed qualifier, and he takes out the Sentinels along the way. 100 Thieves will face off against Envy tomorrow. A spectacular run from the boys in red, and they will face off against the Dallas boys in blue tomorrow. Let's bring Bach back in after he's had time to recover from that spicy chip.